All right, we are on page 122, section 3.1. So starting out chapter 3, talking about different fractions of this chapter. 3.1, we are adding unlike fractions. On a scale of 1 to 3, what do you guys think of the new Smartboard? Pretty good?
2.
I put it as a 1. It's not anywhere near as good as the old one. But whatever, we'll make do with what we've got. So finding common denominators to add unlike fractions. So if, for example, if you have 1/2 plus 1/3, what you need to do is figure out, hey, what do 2 and 3 both go into? So, remember we kind of talked about this before. 2 goes into 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 3 goes into 3, 6, 9, 12. And you look and you see, hey, where do they go into the same thing? So 2 and 3, I see, let's see, 2, nope, 4, nope, 6, oh, that works. And you'll even notice, look, 12 is in both of them. So you could use 6 or 12 to go into it. Yes?
I asked 3 people, and some people said yes, and some people said no.
The answer is yes. So both of you want both of these either going to 6 and 12. What do you think? Do we want them to go into the smaller number or the bigger number? What? The smaller number. We always want the smallest number. That's known as putting it in simplest form. Yes?
Never mind.
So what we want to do is we want to multiply by a fraction on the top and the bottom, so that changes the way the number looks. It's not changing the number, it's changing the way the number looks. So I'm going to multiply, essentially what I'm going to do is multiply by 1. And anything times 1 is that thing, right? 3 times 1 is 3. 4 times 1 is 4. Well, 1/2 times 1 is still 1/2. But if I say, hey, I'm multiplying so that I can get 6 as my bottom number, the bottom number is called the what? Denominator. Right? So I can get a common denominator. I'm going to multiply by 3 over 3, because 2 times 3, 2 times 1, 2, 3. 6th grade, that voice still is not working for me. 2 times 3 is going to get me 6 on the bottom. And then for 1/3, instead of multiplying by 3 over 3, I'm going to multiply by what? Yeah?
2.
Not just 2, 2
Over 2.
2 over 2, because that's the same thing as multiplying by 1. And all the times, we're not changing the number, we're changing the way the number looks. So 1/2 times 3 over 3 is still 1/2. It just looks like 3 over 6. And 1/3 times 2 over 2 is still 1/3, but it looks like 2 over 6. So they're still the same number, they just look different. Yep.
Should I be writing this down?
Yep, anytime I write something on the board, you should be writing it down. 3, 6, now you have your common denominator, 3, 6, and 2, 6. 3, 6 plus 2, 6 is 5, 6. Whoops. 5, 6. So that's what we get for our answer for this one. Whoops. So again, looking back from the beginning, we saw 1/2 plus 1/3. We write out what are their multiples, what do they go into. 2 goes into these numbers, 3 goes into these numbers. You find what's the first number that both of them go into. So 6, they both go into 6. You could have also done 12. If we would have done 12 as our common denominator, which we could have, if we would have done 12 as our common denominator, we wouldn't have multiplied by 3 over 3 here. We would have multiplied by what for 1/2? What would we have multiplied by? Not 3 over 3, we would have multiplied by what to get 12 on the bottom? Yeah?
6 over 6?
6 over 6, and here we would have multiplied by what to get 12 on the bottom? Think, 3 times what is 12? 3 times what is 12? Yep.
4.
4. So we would have multiplied by 4 over 4 here. So it's going to be different what you multiply by, but you're always trying to get that same common what?
Denominator.
Common denominator. Alright, so then you look on, that was 122. Look over on page 123. We're going to go through some of those guided practice. I get different colors. Okay, sweet. Alright, so we have 1/2 plus 2 sevenths. So what's the first step? Yeah.
1 times 7, how it's showing on like the book.
Sorry, what?
We do 1 times 7?
Not 1 times 7, that's not the first step. No. Yeah?
Define what they are equal to.
Not what they're equal to.
But like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2. Like last problem it was 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, 10,
Yeah.
12.
So you
Find
do
that equal number.
not an equal number.
Or the same number.
You see what do they both go into. So 2 goes into 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16,
18,
18,
20.
20. 7 goes into 7, 14, 21. It goes up pretty quickly, obviously. What's the number that they both go into? Yeah?
14.
14. Now, do you need to do all this work every single time? No. You can instead, you could just say, hey, I recognize right away 7 is going to be hard to go into, and 2 doesn't go into 7 because it's an odd number. 2 does go into 14 because it's an even number. All right, my number is 14, and then I just go from there. But you got to start with, if you don't know your multiplication tables well enough to figure that out, then you're going to have to do this. It's a lot longer process, but I'm going to keep on showing this for those of you who are like, hey, I'm not quite sure what to do with it. So for 1/2, I'm going to cross this over here. 1/2, we're multiplying by what? What's our common denominator? Everyone, what's our common denominator here?
14.
14 is the common denominator, so 1/2 has to be multiplied by, think, 2 times what is 14? Yeah?
7.
Not 7. 7 over 7, because remember, we're not changing the number, we're changing the way the number looks, which means we're multiplying by 1. 7 over 7 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7, 2 times 7 is 14. And then our other number, 2/7. Oops. We're multiplying by what here? Waiting for more hands. What?
2.
Not 2, 2
Over 2.
over 2, which means we get 4 over 14. 7 14ths plus 4 over 14 equals, everyone?
8 over 4.
Nope. 7 plus 4 is 11 over 14, and that is your answer for number 1. All of the stuff you have in your assignment today is going to be just like this. If you understand this, great. If you don't understand this, you're going to have to pay very close attention. I'll do number 2, but that one's going to be a little bit quicker. Alright, we're going to choose pink because I'm feeling it. Alright, 3/4 plus 2/3. Whoop.
That was like red.
It's hot pink.
So 4 and 3, they both go into what? Everyone? Anyone can? What do 4 and 3 both go into? Yeah. 12. Yep, that's the smallest number they go into. So 3/4 times 3 over 3, and 2/3 times anyone?
4 over 4.
4 over 4. 3 times 3 is 9 over 12. 2 times 4 is 8 over 12. 8 12ths plus 9 12ths. 8 plus 9 is 17 over 12. What do we do with that? Do we just leave it? No. This is a improper fraction. To turn it into a proper fraction, we have to subtract whatever else it is, or actually do, oops, wrong thing there. Or actually do 17 divided by 12. Think it goes in one time. You have 5 left over, and as you will hopefully remember, here I'm gonna try to separate that out. If you have 5 left over, you put that on the top, you put it over 12. 1 and 5/12. That's what you're gonna do. Anytime you get more than 1. So whatever, if it's greater than, if your numerator, the top, is greater than your denominator on the bottom, you take it, do the division, whatever you have left over. If you get to the point where you're like, hey, I just see it's 5 extra than 12, you can just say, hey, it's 1 and 5/12. You don't need to show me this extra work if you know how to do that. If you're like, hey, I need to take that extra step, then take that extra step. Hopefully, eventually it should just get to be a point where it's automatic. If you have 17 over 12, you're like, okay, where there's 5 extra, 1 and 5/12. That's what my answer is going to be. All right, looking at page 124, and we're choosing Poiple this time.
Poiple.
Poiple, that's what I like to call it.
Number 3.
Yep. So 3, 4, and 5, they say they're talking about using benchmarks to estimate them. So at the top it says estimate the sum of 11/12, 2/3, and 1/6. 11/12, 2/3, 1/6. So using benchmarks for that. So you want to try to think about it in terms of maybe either 1 whole or 0 or a half or maybe even a quarter if you need to. But 11/12 is pretty close to what? Which one is it close to?
12.
0, 1/2, or 1 whole? Which one is it most close to? Yeah?
1 whole.
Yeah, 1 whole. 2/3, what's it most close to?
1 whole.
No. 2/3 is not most close to 1 whole. Think about it in terms of if we had 1, 2, 3, right here, you got 2/3 of these filled out. That is not closer to 1 whole than it is to 1/2. It is closer to 1/2. And 1/6 is close to
0.
0. So 1 plus 1/2 plus 0 is 1 and 1/2. So that's how these last ones are going to work out. And we're going to stick with purple. So it has 1/10 plus 2/5 plus 0. 1/10, 2/5, 0. 1/10 is close to, yeah? 1/10? Think 1 out of 10. If it's 10 feet across, it's one out of those feet across. No, we're going with 1/10 first. 1/10, what's it most close to? 0. 2/5, what's it most close to? Waiting for more hands.
1/2.
Yep, 1/2. And 0, whoops, I said 1 over 0. I'm looking for 1/2. And 0 is close to 0. So we can just say 1/2. In actuality, you end up being exactly 1/2 when you did this one. If you were to get the actual answers. All right. And let's see, maybe we'll do 1 or 2 of these last ones. Nah, we'll do both of them. So 8/9 plus 9/10. 8/9 is very close to. Here, we'll do this in either half. 8/9, 9/10. 8/9 close to. Yeah. 1. 9/10 close to.
1.
What's 9/10 close to?
1.
Yep. So that makes your answer is 2. And the last one, 1/6, 7/12, and 5/6. 1/6 close to, say if you know it.
0.
7/2, 7/12, I mean?
Half.
Yep, 1/2. And 5/6, 1 whole. So your answer is 1 1/2. All right, you guys are good to go.